Ah, indeed. Why isn't more attention given to the fact Tommy Davis is gone? Between the John Sweeney incident, Australian TV reports, CNN interview, and the taped conversation with Larry Anderson, I would think this would be more discussed amongst Scientology critics. I have to think there would be a line of people waiting to rub it in his face that Scientology seems to have not worked for him. Why isn't this examined more? Well, I'm not particularly standing in line to rub it into Tommy Davis's face that it didn't seem to work for him because he doesn't want to hear it. He's still a true believer, or at least that is the show or the facade that he presents to the world. And he does not accept communication from like Tony Ortega or people who are anti-Scientology. And he's got his own reasons for it, probably namely involved with his family, who are Scientologists, his mother and his father. And he was raised in Scientology. I don't know from how young, but knowing from my own experience how powerful of a force that can be to your own motivation and belief and how you act in life, it's going to take him time to get past that. And hopefully at some point in the future, he chooses to break free of it and speak out against it. But that's a big ask for somebody like Tommy Davis. He's married to Jessica Feshbach. The Feshbach family are all Scientologists, very active, very moneyed Scientologists. So, you got two powerful, moneyed families, Tommy's parents and Jessica's parents and family, and they're going to buck that system. It doesn't really sound like they're going to. Now, as far as a bunch of people waiting to criticize Tommy Davis, well, I think that's occurred. I think that he's received, warranted criticism for lying about disconnection and some of the other things that he said, where he sort of, put his foot in his mouth as a spokesman for Scientology. And I don't really know what else to say about the guy. He kind of did us a favor, those of us being in the ex-Scientology community, that he did say what he said, because he gave the world, the WOG world, those of us who are, not in Scientology, more ammunition to use against the church by lying about disconnection, by saying that if Dianetics, that he said apparently on public television that if everything that Hubbard said about his war record was a lie, then Dianetics would be based on a lie, and the whole thing would be a lie, which is true. In that Hubbard did lie about his war record. Dianetics is based on a lie, and all of it is, to that degree, a lie, right? So, thank you, Tommy, for doing that. That was great. So I don't know how much more face rubbing we really need to do. I think, and I'll comment on this right now, that I think that the fact that there hasn't been another international spokesman for Scientology since 2011, when Tommy disappeared. I think it was 2011. I think that is a more telling sign of the current state of Scientology than many other things. 5 years now that no one has been representing Scientology in the public eye. There have been press releases and written statements by Karen Powell, which we all pretty much believe is right out of David Miscavige's mouth. That's been Scientology's media presence, that and those stupid Super Bowl commercials, and that's it. So that should really tell you something, because, what does it say about, some organization that claims to have millions of members and yet can't seem to find somebody to be their spokesperson for mass media representation? It tells me that OSA has probably downsized massively. Nobody wants to go anywhere near that job. And plus Miscavige, of course, is in such a state of whatever at this point that he's not putting anybody else on that job for 5 years. That is telling. That tells me that these guys are on a much more serious decline than is generally, maybe appreciated. We talk about their membership numbers, 20,000, maybe less. That's very telling. It's not a concrete number. We can't know for sure. But when you see other indications, like no public spokesperson and no mass media marketing or promotional campaigns, because those Super Bowl commercials certainly do not make up a PR campaign. You know, that's a random act of promotion is what that is. You know, you're seeing an organization that is folding. They're pulling those flippers are being pulled in. You know, and this group is heavily on the decline. So that's the good news for me about Tommy Davis, is that there hasn't been a replacement for Tommy Davis. So there you go.